Should you be using timecode in your videos? Is it something you have been thinking about? Maybe you got a new camera, an audio recorder, or a wireless mic, and it supports timecode. If you're doing a professional, multi-camera, multi-microphone shoot, you are already using timecode, likely set up by the sound mixer. If you only have one camera and recording audio into the camera, you probably don't need it. But if you use more than one camera or more than one mic that you sync up when you edit, you might want to add timecode to your workflow. I can hear the questions now. Isn't timecode difficult to set up? Doesn't timecode require expensive gear? If I'm already syncing my video and audio by audio waveforms, why should I use timecode? And hey, what is timecode? In this video, I'm going to answer these questions and give you a few reasons you might want to consider adding timecode to your files. If you're someone who regularly uses timecode or has set up timecode in the past, this video probably isn't for you. I made this video for anyone just starting out with making videos who might benefit from using timecode. First off, what is timecode? It's frame-accurate metadata that is attached to video and audio files. Okay, so what does that mean and how is it used to synchronize video and audio? It means that the time and frame numbers are recorded into the video and audio files, and if they are all using the same time source, it is very easy to synchronize them in all of the major editing software. Isn't timecode difficult to set up? Not really. Many entry-level cameras have timecode built in, and for those that don't have timecode or don't allow external synchronization or jam syncing, you can record timecode into one of the audio tracks. This is a good segue into the next question. Doesn't timecode require expensive gear? While most expensive gear does have timecode, you don't have to pay a lot of money to get gear that has timecode built in. Even if your equipment doesn't have timecode included, you can buy relatively inexpensive external devices that will allow you to embed timecode in almost any video or audio device. Several manufacturers make timecode generators around $200. The last question is whether to use timecode if you are already synchronizing your video and audio via waveforms in your editing software. I will be answering that question during the rest of this video. First off, if you are already syncing using audio waveforms in your editing program and that is working for you, that's great. I'm not going to try and talk anyone out of syncing with audio waveforms. And adding timecode doesn't remove the option of syncing audio waveforms. It's not a one or the other option. What I would like to do is offer timecode as a backup to waveform syncing, because I don't know about you, but I've had several cases where I couldn't automatically sync my clips and had to resort to syncing them manually. Not a huge issue, but it definitely takes a little time, and if you have multiple takes and files, it can get frustrating. The worst case was when the battery died on a camera mic. At that point, I didn't have a wave to sync either automatically or manually. Luckily, I had a few visual cues that allowed manual syncing, and that saved the day. Soon after that happened, I started looking at timecode as a backup to waveform syncing. At the time, I had two cameras that had timecode but would only sync via HDMI, and there was no way to synchronize both cameras and my audio recorder to use the same timecode. To make this work, I needed two timecode generators, so I picked up a couple of tentacle sync generators. Okay, let me show you my setup. First, I sync up both tentacle sync generators using the app. After syncing them up, I take one and hook it up to the audio input of my GH5. This allows the GH5 to record timecode into the left channel. Scratch audio from the tentacle sync generator is recorded to the right channel. The other one gets hooked up to my A7S3, but before that, I use it to jam sync my mix pre. The mix pre has a very stable clock, so once synced, it stays synced for my whole shot. The last thing I do is hook up to the A7S3. I originally hooked it up to the audio input like the GH5, but Sony updated the firmware and now allows you to jam sync through the micro USB connector on the side of the A7S3. You can disconnect the timecode source after you jam sync the camera, but I'm not sure how stable the timecode is on the A7S3, so I keep the tentacle sync hooked up. At that point, all my gear is synced up and I'm ready to shoot. I want to walk you through the sync process I do to start editing. So let's jump into Davinci Resolve and sync some files. Okay, in Davinci Resolve, I've got some clips in the media pool. These are from a video that I did not too terribly long ago, a little more involved than some of my other videos. I've got two cameras and three microphones. Before I do synchronizing using the timecode, I want to show you can still do synchronization using the audio waveforms. So I'm going to throw these down into the timeline. I'm not going to really care where they go. I'm not lining them up at this point. I'm just putting them in the timeline. And if you'll notice, there's a little bit of a bump right at the beginning of the files. That's where I clapped when I started the take. So to do audio synchronization, I'm going to highlight all the files, right-click, go down to Auto Align Clips, Waveform, and hit Sync. And when it's done, it will line up all of those clips along the timeline using the little, you'll be able to look at this blip and see that they actually did synchronize up. So let's watch that. Just a couple more seconds here. And it aligned them up. So you still can do audio synchronization using audio waveforms, even if you have timecode enabled in the files. So we're going to undo that. We're going to get rid of these files. And now we're going to go to timecode syncing. But before we do timecode syncing, we need to fix one thing. The GH5 file has linear timecode recorded on the left audio track. We need to update the timecode using that audio. So on the file, you can right-click, go down to Update Timecode for Audio Track, and it updates it automatically. So the process for doing timecode synchronization is very similar to doing the audio. You just throw the files in. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just haphazardly throw them in here. And same process. You highlight all the files, right-click, go to Auto Align Clips, hit timecode. And one thing you're going to notice when I hit sync, it's almost immediate. It is super quick to do timecode synchronization. So hit sync, and it's done. Now, on to the edit. Using timecode to synchronize your files is very easy. Is it required? No. Is it nice to have? I think so. I like the ability to have two different ways to synchronize files. In cases where a camera is too far away to use scratch audio, I know timecode will work. For me, it's so easy to implement timecode, I just do it for every shoot. Should you enable timecode for your shoots? That's for you to decide. If your equipment supports it, there's really no reason to not implement it. If you have to buy external timecode generators, the decision is a little bit harder, but with the price of only around $200 each, it really doesn't cost that much to get going. I hope I've given you a reason to try timecode. In my case, I started using timecode as a backup to waveform syncing. Now I use timecode to sync everything. Are you using timecode? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you got some value out of this video, please consider liking it or subscribing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.